Just 10 seconds, Colonel.
I thought we were going to see you at that homicide the other night.
I was in Maine.
I was going to say, it was odd.
I would have been there. I absolutely would have been there.
Oh, you were Maine for the manhunt?
For the fugitive, yeah.
We had a detective out there on the hunt too. He's attached to the U.S. Marshal, so by the time he got there, it was already found, like that.
It was. That could have been a little bit easier. All right, folks, again, we are in Cranston. With us is Colonel Winquist, Cranston Police, and Mayor Hopkins. Colonel, what can you tell us what took place in Cranston this morning?
Sure. Approximately 10:14 a.m., the Cranston Fire Department received a 911 call of a child that was injured at this address behind me. At that time, it came in the child might be bleeding, is how it came in. Short time later, another call came in where somebody at the residence said a child had been shot at this location, a 4-year-old child. Our officers arrived with the fire department to find a 4-year-old child on the second floor of this residence suffering from a gunshot wound to the head. At that time, the child was transported to Hasbro Children's Hospital, where the child is undergoing surgery and remains in critical condition. There was 2 people home at the time, including the child's biological father and the child's grandfather. Both those individuals are back at the police station. We're trying to sort out exactly what led to the shooting at this location.
Anything that sticks out? Are they known to police? Police been here at all in the past?
We have had contacts with the father in the past. We are in the process of getting a search warrant for the residence. We have information that the firearm is still at this location, possibly in the second floor bedroom.
So the investigation is still underway, and right now it's a matter of a search warrant and then getting the firearm.
That's correct.
Okay. And how many is he being detained? The
father is detained at this time.
Anyone else or just him?
Just him.
Is he saying anything, cooperating at this point? Or?
I haven't got that information. He just got back to the station. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Obviously, this is an important case to us. Anytime a child's injured, it's high priority for us, and we're going to do our best to solve this case.
Folks, again, we're in Cranston. It's Colonel Winquist, Mayor Hopkins. We're going to ask the mayor in just a moment. Colonel, again, could you just touch on Cranston residents? What's the message to the Cranston residents? Because this is alarming, a 4-year-old.
Sure. First of all, this is an isolated incident. I know people are concerned. There's actually a school directly behind here, and everything's safe and secure at this time. We have the individuals that are involved in this incident, and the child is getting medical treatment as we speak. So there's no worries to the community, in our opinion, at this time. Our message is that if you own a firearm, make sure you secure it safely. There's laws that pertain to that, and we don't know if there's an accident or an intentional act. It's something that we're going to have to figure out.
And Mayor Hopkins, this is Halloween. It can obviously be everybody on high alert a little bit. You want to touch on the highly unusual nature of a 4-year-old shot?
Yeah, John, this is an open investigation, so I'm going to leave it at that, just to let people know that the city is safe. It's an isolated incident, as the Colonel just mentioned, and the thoughts and prayers of the city are with the 4-year-old.
And Colonel, I went by the school that's nearby. I noticed there's a Cranston police cruiser.
Yes, the child that was injured has a sibling that goes to that school. Just want to make sure everyone's safe and secure, and the people and the staff at that school and the parents know that this incident had no connection to the school itself.
Okay. All right. But I'm sure that's reassuring to parents that there's an officer.
Yes, and we have school resource officers and officers that patrol the schools every day. And after an incident like this, we want to make sure that they're reassured that their safety is our priority.
All right. Thank you, Colonel. Maybe we'll touch base afterwards once the search warrant's executed, like there. Okay. Thanks, Mayor. All right, folks, again, we're right here in Cranston. We'll stay. And again, you're watching On the Scene live stream. Folks, again, I want to commend. So we're going to recap a little bit everybody on this Halloween. There you see the mayor and also the colonel, and this is a developing story. I want you to give me just one moment, everybody. And we had to Okay, we're going to stay right here on scene, folks, on scene live stream, simply because they're then going to be executing in, oh my God, everything. Okay, so we're going to be staying here. Again, I want to bring everybody up to speed. This is obviously breaking news. You can share that you are watching. Let me just touch base with everybody. There we go. All right, yes, folks, there you go. Colonel and the Mayor on the scene live stream. Let me just check the time here. We are, see what information we can gather. Yes. Okay, so right now it's 11:43. And again, this is the big story. We're going to stay on scene here simply because, as you just heard, Cranston police are going to be executing a search warrant for this residence where a 4-year-old, excuse me, was shot earlier this morning. 4-year-old is in fact at Hasbro Children's Hospital. And folks, Halloween, as you can imagine, everyone kind of on guard to begin with. Okay, and now we're getting some more details on this Halloween. Father, mother, grandfather, victim, weren't there at the time of the shooting. So they've had previous interactions with the father. So the biological father's detained at the police station, and then the child was shot in the head and is at critical condition right now at Hasbro Children's Hospital. So again, repeating this news on this Halloween, 4-year-old has been shot in the head, and father is being detained right now at the police station. And what you're looking at is Cranston police are on scene. This is Queen Street. Again, for everybody that is just tuning in, having some problems with our Queen Street in Cranston, where the a 4-year-old has in fact been shot. We're going to stay right here on scene, do our noon report from here. Yep. So folks, it's an emergency surgery. So right now at Hasbro. Do you live in the area? Oh, you do? What, behind, next street? Okay. Do you know the people that live here? No? All right, so folks, we have some people that are... All right, so we have some people that are here right here on scene.
She was telling me that evidently he was going through his drawer. I don't want to be on...
Oh, okay. All right, I just want to... On the scene live stream.
Drawer and the gun went off.
Is that what happened? What, the child was, or the
4-year-old child?
he's going through the drawer? Wow.
We don't know.
No, he's at Hasbro. In critical. Yeah.
Right now.
On the scene live stream. Yes. Okay.
I've been in this business 50 years.
Oh, okay.
So you're a news reporter too?
Yeah, actually, I'm retired.
Of the neighborhood, right?
Yeah, I live around the corner.
Yeah.
I walk by here all the time.
Did you hear the shot? No.
I didn't hear anything. I just
Okay.
saw a police
My
car.
daughter called me screaming hysterically.
She did?
My daughter's a sister-in-law. My
Oh.
daughter don't live here.
Oh,
But
okay.
I've known the mother of the child since kindergarten. My
Wow.
daughter and her have been best friends forever.
Is that right?
I don't know who the guy was. It's an older gentleman.
Bob. That's Bob. He lives on the first floor. He
He's
owns
got
it.
a little dome.
Yeah, yep. He's not well either. He's
No, I
sick
know, but it was,
himself.
I met him because I was walking down the street.
your-
a little
your-
longer, and
Yeah,
it's not Bob.
Your daughter lives on the second floor?
No,
No.
Her
Sister-in-law.
lives on the
Oh,
second
okay.
floor, and that's
Well,
where the incident happened.
the biological father is being detained at the police station.
They ought to throw a rope over the fucking branch and hang him, because he's been a piece of shit all his life.
He had? All right, go easy.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. No, that's all right.
Please, I don't want to go.
No, I understand. We're just trying to. So the child was going through the drawer.
No,
No, the guy was. Wait a minute.
the father was
The father was going through the drawer.
going through the drawer, and the gun went off.
Holy cow!
I know.
Yeah, that sounds
Number one,
odd.
It's an illegal gun. He's got a record told than the three of us put together.
Does he? Oh
Piece
wow.
of shit.
Is he?
He's a piece of shit.
Jesus.
She works stop and shop fucking 80 hours a week, and he sits home on the couch. She used to be over here. I don't know which one she's at now.
Wow.
Muffy. Mafalda is her name. Heavy set. No, she always lived there. She's a heavy set girl.
Oh, okay.
Big girl. She's a big girl.
What's his name? Mike?
His name's Mike.
Mike. Yeah. Sits on the couch.
Does nothing.
Does nothing. What's he got a
I
gun
think he's
for?
had maybe one job. Because he's a scumbag.
Wow.
He's a scumbag.
That poor little.
That's Muffy's car right there.
Okay. Well, they're coming back with a search warrant.
Are they?
Yeah. Yeah.
They should.
To get the.
Hang him.
To
But
get.
you know what? Muffy is a great mother.
She is. Okay.
Great mother.
Huh.
I'm so surprised she even allowed him to have a gun in the house. She may not have known.
Right.
No, I live in West Warren. I go to call people and come down.
Yes.
If I can help Bob at all, because I know Bob, he's on oxygen, everything.
All right, folks. 11:48.
For his kids.
We're in Cranston. You're watching On the Scene live stream.
All in the house just so he can have.
We're going to stay right here in Cranston.
But the piece of shit lives there. I'm sorry for you swearing.
No, it's fine. I don't blame you. I can tell.
Yeah, on the second
So,
floor.
folks, 4-year-old shot. This man's claiming the
Not one.
father was going through a drawer,
Yep.
What was she thinking?
and then the gun went off and caught the 4-year-old in the head.
He's been in and out of jail
Has he?
for drunk, no license, gets caught driving without a
Oh,
license
he's an
all the time.
habitual offender.
Exactly.
Do they
Three-time loser.
do they live on the first floor or second floor?
Second floor.
Second floor. Wow.
Anyway,
I gotta
go.
call.
Okay.
My
You don't know
son-in-law.
me, but
My
No.
son-in-law's father lives. It's his sister, brother and sister.
Oh, I see.
tell
Okay.
DePietro I wish him well.
Take
Yeah.
care,
Okay.
please.
All
Don't
right.
quote me.
No. Understood. All right, folks. Again, we are on scene. We got a lot there. Second floor. You're watching. Those men know a lot. This is So, father going through the drawer. Gun supposedly goes off and clips the 4-year-old, who right now is at Hasbro Children's Hospital. So we're on Queen Street in Cranston. You're watching On the Scene live stream. Now, folks, I'm not exactly sure why the rest of the media left, because they still got to come back for the search warrant. So, and again, I want to repeat. So the father is being detained at the Cranston police station. The 4-year-old was shot. He is at Hasbro. Emergency surgery, shot in the head on Halloween with Okay, folks, again, it is Halloween. It's Tuesday. It is so sad. Folks, we're going to stay right here. Why not? This is the story of the day. I just want to show you I don't know why the rest of the media has left. And the police still have not come back yet with the search warrant to get the weapon. So the child was rushed to Hasbro, and right now, as you can tell, Cranston police are going to get a search warrant for this premises, and then they intend to obviously execute that, so to speak. And folks, this is the second high profile, I want to remind you, shooting. So right now it's 11:51. We're in Cranston. Okay. I'm just checking some messages. I'm just checking some more information, folks, that is coming in. If you know someone in Cranston, you can type in their name. The 4-year-old rushed emergency surgery, shot in the head. Child's father is in custody. Now, this is all on the heels of what we know just happened Friday night, right on the Providence-Cranston line, with the basically the execution style shot. So again, folks, good afternoon, everybody, or good morning still. Happy Halloween. Juan is not yet in costume, but you're watching On the Scene live stream. We're going to stay with this story and see exactly what happens, especially as the police right now are going to get the search warrant, where then they're going to try to, they don't have the weapon as of yet. So that'll be next. But just to repeat, this is Queen Street. This is the Arlington. It's off of Dyer, and we've had a 4-year-old that has been shot in the head. The sibling goes to school right up the street, 2 children, as a matter of fact. Oh, okay. Then some of the other media are still coming back here. There's Anne, there's Denise. Folks, horrible on this Halloween. And again, this is, I want to reiterate, think of Friday night. That initially was a Cranston shooting, and then they moved it to Providence. And now, just so we understand, from what we understand, a father is going through his drawer supposedly now, and supposedly that's what he claims, accidentally shot his 4-year-old son in the head, who's right now in emergency surgery at Hasbro. We don't know that, Jennifer. That part we don't know. We're still trying to find out more details on this. But we're going to do the noon report. It's 11:54. So next hour, we're going to stay right here. We're going to watch them execute the search warrant. It's the house right there behind me where the police officers are standing in front, 2nd floor. And we're going to stay right here as the police are now executing. They're going to get the search warrant from the judge, and they're going to come back, and we're going to carry it right here when they should. They don't have the weapon yet. So we have a 4-year-old that's at Hasbro. We have the father that is in police custody with Cranston Police. Just earlier, when we first came on, we spoke with the colonel and the mayor. So they're all on scene. So we're going to stay right here, and we're going to do this, folks, for our noon report. Thank you for the stars on this Halloween, folks. Okay. Yes, good afternoon. It's still morning, actually. Now, folks, we're going to be going live, simulcast on the radio, much like we did up in, Now, that's what he's saying. We don't know exactly yet. I want to remind people, that's what the father is claiming happened. Is that I believe the father's just trying to say he was going through the drawer and the gun went off. But, you don't know. The man that came by that was chatting with us didn't give a very flattering portrayal of the father. So who knows exactly, what happened at this scene on Queen Street in Cranston, Arlington section just a short time ago. There's Nancy McCormick. Prayers for that little child is exactly right, Harriet Brown. As folks, that is, as you can imagine, what Hasbro dealing with this on Halloween. Kids get so excited. And I did go by, there's a school right up the street from here, and they do have a police vehicle in front, and apparently one of the children, the sibling of the 4-year-old that was shot in the head, attends that school. So we're going to stay on scene again. Folks, you're watching On the Scene live stream. We're in Cranston, Queen Street, 4-year-old, Cranston now, Arlington Street. It's right off of Dyer and Cranston Street, and it's a little side street, Queen Street, right near Homestead, and then there's the school about a half mile from here. But we're going to stay on scene here, folks. Again, remember, you can share that you are watching. You can type in someone's name from Cranston. But we're going to stay here and watch as the Cranston police are going to execute this search warrant. And again, folks, thank you for the stars on this Halloween. This is just the beginning of our Halloween coverage. Planning on being on. I thought there'd be more activity, later tonight. I didn't know that we would get something like this, the nature of this, so early. It's so unusual and rare that we have something like this. Now, this individual, the father, apparently is known to police. So what we're going to do is we'll do the noon report right here, and that'll be coming up starting right after 12. Right around 12:06, we're going to go live on the radio as well. So we're going to update you. Also, touch on the big story of the day, which is Governor McKee did fire that anti-Semitic councilman. It's the second floor of the house, right there where you see the yellow tape. That's the house. And you can see the police right in front, but it's the second floor. Now, what's missing is they don't have the search warrant as of yet. Yeah, you don't know. He claims, yeah. You know, that seems odd. I was going through the drawer, and somehow the gun went off and hit the 4-year-old in the head. Seems very, very unusual, folks, I admit. Again, folks, we continue our way towards our October goal. You can send stars if you appreciate on the scene live stream. I do want to, we immediately had quick reaction of people that were reaching out, making sure that we knew about it. I did hear about it. Then it was just a matter of trying to find the right address with Cranston Police. Now, earlier, when we first started, we had, oh, wow. Okay. I'm getting some information. I wanted to tell you. I used to live on Victoria. Oh, okay. Father's name is Bob. Son and a daughter. Daughter's named Muffy. Family's always been troublesome. We have a lot of problems with them. Hard worker. Terrible with those kids. Always in trouble. Kids are out of control. Now, Victoria is the next street. The boys tried to shoot my pit bull with a pellet gun when they were younger. So, there's something with the guns. That is someone that I know who is a very, very reliable source. What else do we have? Oh, okay. Well, it's a 4-year-old. Yep. And let me just check this one as well. Okay. Now, folks, coming up, the news stations are going to go live, so we're going to let them do their thing. I don't want to carry over, because then we're really going to be live right at 12:06. Yes, for our noon report. Now, folks, the reason why this location right now, police... Yeah.
Hello,
Oh,
Juan.
hi there.
Carol Callahan.
Oh, hey, Carol. You know we're live, right? Yeah.
Are you live? I mean,
What? You don't think you don't know you don't think? All right.
They say they found a 4-year-old shot here earlier
Nice to see you.
in the head, and now that child is in critical condition. 12 News was first on scene. Our cameras captured police on the street in front of this apartment building. Multiple officers here on scene. The mayor showed up as well, talking with police. We're still learning more details about what led up to the shooting, but I'm told the people inside this residence at this time are in custody.
And as you can see behind me, police are still waiting outside this home. We're told that they'll need a search warrant to enter into the house, which could take hours at this time. They don't have any firearm at the moment, and as I said, that father is still being held.
It's not clear how long this process will take, but we'll continue to keep you updated both on web and on air. Rodney Cranston, Lauren Brill, 12 News.
All right, folks. Again, right now it's 12:02. Hi to Carol. That was interesting. Carol was surprised that we were live. I always, folks. The reason, should I even bother? The reason why we call it On the Scene live stream is because we're live. It never ends. All right, we're live with our noon report, folks, coming up. in just 4 minutes. 4 minutes. And we're going to stay right here on scene. And we're going to watch them execute the search warrant. Folks, again, thank you for the stars on this Halloween. We continue our march towards our October goal. You can subscribe to the page 322. We're going to be live in just a moment, and then we'll recap a little bit. Now, I think we'll also be able to recap some of the other stories of the day, which the big news is I want to commend Governor McKee for firing that creep. So, you got to talk to the police.
I live here. Yeah.
Oh, he claims he lives there. All right, we're live on the radio, folks. Just 2 minutes, and then we'll give a full recap, everything that's happening on the scene live stream, noon report. Wow, what a terrible story, Cranston. Now again, I want to reiterate, Friday night, Cranston police were called, but it actually happened in Providence. But this one is Cranston. This one is definitely a Cranston situation. And we're going to be live in less than 2 minutes, and then we shall begin our full hour noon report. Folks, on the scene. I always think it's better to, like right now, if I were somewhere at work and about to have lunch, I'd want to know what's going on. I always like to see when they are live at the scene, as opposed to just something, a package in the studio. As we know, a lot can happen when we're live at the scene. Let this person come by. Okay. And we are standing by for JR. All right. Let me, all right, hold on, folks. Stand by, everybody. What's the problem? Why? But you just had me on Friday. So you can't find me on Facebook? All right, go to my website, and then you just click on the Facebook link, and it'll bring you to the page. No, I'm not. Yes. Okay, you got it? Okay. All right, folks, good afternoon. Once again, you're listening to the John DePietro Show. It's AM 1380, also 99.9 FM. Good afternoon. This is our live simulcast on our Facebook page, John DePietro Show. And right now, what you're looking at, first, let me, this portion of the program, what you're looking at is we're live in Cranston, and this is on the scene live stream, where a 4-year-old was shot this morning right on this house that you're looking at. If you're on the Facebook page, you can see it. 3 officers from Cranston Police are in front. And a father from the home right now is in custody. And police, Cranston police that are here on the scene, you see them in front of the residence. It's the 2nd floor right there on Queen Street, Arlington. And then you see the Cranston police. They're here. They're waiting for the search warrant that they're going to execute to get the weapon. Now, the father of the 4-year-old right now is in custody at the Cranston police station. So we are standing by. But this is, so far on this Halloween, this portion of the program is brought to you by PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center, 3688 Quaker Lane in North Kingstown. And right now they have, folks, still have tremendous pumpkins that they have. They have all kinds of fall decorations. Stop in and see them. Still have, the next month is still a great planting season. It's PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center, 3688 Quaker Lane in North Kingstown. Now, the police are investigating. Behind me, you see, those that are watching, you see the Cranston police. Cranston police right now are executing a search warrant. A 4-year-old that lives at this residence is right now, I'm told, in emergency surgery at Hasbro Children's Hospital for a gunshot wound to the head. Now, this is important. Police, as we speak, are getting the proper paperwork. You have to go through certain paperwork in order to get a search warrant to go in. They don't have that, and they don't have the weapon just yet. So now the father, who's in custody, it's my understanding, he claims that he was somehow going through his drawer and the gun went off and the 4-year-old was shot. Now, I want to reiterate, we don't know if that's what happened. That's what he's claiming happened, as a matter of fact. So at this time, that's what, the father that's in custody. We don't know how much he's cooperating. That story came from not police, but it came from an individual who knows someone connected. So, but what we have, it's Halloween. We're right near, and I'll show on scene the map just a little while, I should say. We're in the Arlington section. It's off of Cranston Street near Dyer, and it's a small little side street. Now, it's my understanding there's been a problem individual, a lot of problems out of this house, and from what a man that arrived in the scene that certainly seemed to know the individuals involved here claims that was an unregistered weapon that this person had in the home. Now that part we don't know, but he's being detained. He's in police custody. They got a call where then they rushed the 4-year-old to Hasbro Children's Hospital, where, now again, I don't know right now at 12:11. I don't know the condition of the child, and we're going to wait for official notice on that. I also want to remind people, because sometimes people will listen to this later, or they will watch it later and then say, like, what is he talking about? The child, I'm just giving an example. People start to react to things after the fact. I'm telling you right now, as far as we know, that the child is being taken care of at Hasbro in emergency surgery. Now, hopefully, things will work out. We don't know that. However, even if it didn't, there's then a process of notifying next of kin and so forth. So, right now, behind me, you can hear some of the local reporters are going up to some of the neighbors and asking them if they want to talk. But we're hearing from different people that apparently this has been somewhat, thank you, Lynn Miller, a problematic house. Again, thank you, everybody. This is our final day to try to make the stars. Now, folks, I want to reemphasize at 12 minutes past 12, you're listening to it's the John DePietro Show on the Scene live stream. So you can listen at the website, AM 1380, or at DePietro.com, or listen right now on the radio, AM 1380, 99.9 FM. We've had a 4-year-old shot, that much we know, with the father. Again, what we're hearing is he's claiming, and we got that from someone that knows these people, the father is claiming he was rummaging through his drawer and somehow a loaded gun went off. Now, if you're a gun owner, you know you're not supposed to have a loaded weapon, let alone when you have children in the house, you're not supposed to have a loaded weapon. We also know, folks, without knowing all the details, we're going to let Cranston police investigate this. But we also know that, guns don't just go off. There's normally something, behind that. Something has to activate it. But right now, the reason why we are still on scene is you can see the Cranston police are waiting. Once they get the search warrant, then they'll be able to go. And the second floor of this home that you can see behind me, and it's the second floor of this house that has the ramp for those that are watching. Seems to have some kind of ramp, or it had a ramp. Can't fully see. But yeah, no, it does have a ramp that goes up to it. The individuals, this took place, from what we understand, on the second floor. The second floor. So then that will become a crime scene, where then they'll do a full investigation, and then it'll start with we don't know. I mean, what would motive be? I don't know about motive. I have no idea. I don't know if motive's the right word. A lot of times, folks, we don't know. From what we're hearing, the individual involved, who's known to police, to put it mildly, doesn't sound like the most, how can I put this? Doesn't sound like the most responsible individual. So I don't know about, there are different instances where if people are not careful, that they could be, and you hear about this sometimes, where someone who's not careful, and that's why you can't play around with a firearm. It's not so much that they could go off. I don't know if motive is the right word, and I'm not trying to single anybody out, but if you're not careful and you have a loaded firearm, first of all, you shouldn't have a loaded firearm when there were young children involved. So apparently there's 2 children. We know the 4-year-old. The 4-year-old sibling there's a school about a quarter mile from here, maybe a half mile max, right here in the Arlington section. No, Linda, I don't think a child could do that. I mean, I don't know. We don't know at this point. Obviously, that'll then come to Cranston Police Ballistics, where they'll be able to match up and see if that's even remotely possible. Again, right now, it's tough because police have not had an opportunity to enter the apartment just yet, right? Police have not had a chance to enter the apartment. So right now, many times when there are different types of situations where there's shootings, where there are individuals. I'm not saying in this situation, but sometimes there's a group of young people who then, they're drinking, and then somebody's playing around with a gun, and then they say it just went off, but you shouldn't be playing around with that. So it's very, very serious. Now, we don't know the situation with the condition of the child, and we're going to learn a lot more from Cranston Police once they're able to execute the search warrant and then go into this residence. So you can see police in the driveway right now. And again, I want to just reiterate, it's the second floor of this home on the right-hand side. You see an air conditioning unit and a window on the second floor, actually on both sides. And then, so police, let's be very clear, police have not yet had an opportunity to go inside the apartment. This is all what we're hearing from people that know the individuals that live there. We were talking earlier with someone who knows or is related to someone who is connected to the family, and they describe a problematic individual, the biological father of the child who had the weapon, who was at home, and then somehow you have a 4-year-old at Hasbro. So, again, folks, good afternoon. You're listening to and watching On the Scene live stream. We are right here in Cranston. You see the Cranston police. They have this location locked down. They're waiting, where reports are that a 4-year-old was shot in the head and then rushed to Hasbro Children's Hospital. The father, I believe the owner of the weapon, is in custody right now, being detained at the Cranston police station. For those that are just tuning in, we did speak earlier with both the chief of police in Cranston and Mayor Hopkins, and they were just saying that, there's no danger to the community. The 4-year-old boy is in critical condition, shot at home right on the second floor of that house, which is Queen Street in Cranston. Now, we're going to await, as the Cranston police, that you can see, they're waiting for the search warrant, where then they can go inside in the premises and get the weapon. They don't have the weapon yet, and really examine. And then you're going to see the Cranston crime scene show up, and they'll do full examination inside the apartment. So we're going to remain on scene for that. Folks, this portion of our program, brought to you by AJ Drywall. Remember, home remodeling. I'm certainly looking at some homes on the street that could use some remodeling. Whether home or business, call AJ Drywall, Plasters, and Home Improvement, serving Rhode Island and southeastern Mass. Now we see an officer going around to the other side of the home. But we shared their Facebook page. Again, AJ Drywall, Plasters, Home Improvement. Maybe you have an unfinished basement, unfinished garage. Maybe you need some painting done inside. AJ Drywall, Plasters, and Home Improvement. Now, right now it's 12:20, and it's Halloween. And we are doing our simulcast where you're listening to the John DePietro Show on AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. Or you can listen online at the website, depetro.com. By the way, depetro.com, we have all the latest on that. Basically, it was an execution on Friday night. So we also have the video up, if you missed it, of the Providence Police in their press briefing. Now, initially, Cranston Police were called in on that on the early morning hours of Saturday morning. It turned out that the vehicle was in Providence, so it's become a Providence investigation. But we have a lot of updates about that you can check out on the website, depetro.com. Now, I have been talking about the story that I also want to touch on. Now, we're not going anywhere. We're going to stay right here and watch as the Cranston police are going to execute this search warrant on this residence where a 4-year-old was shot. But folks, I wanted, on this Tuesday, Halloween, I want to commend Rhode Island Governor Dan McKee, who fired the anti-Semitic councilman who was, I can't believe the way some members of the media are covering this story, which is this guy was just calling for a ceasefire, and he just wants peace. And I also see right now the Rhode Island ACLU weighs in and says the ACLU finds it concerning anytime a government employee is punished for a private exercise of his First Amendment right. Except he posted it on social media, and on top of that, he works for Governor McKee, and the governor has a right to decide who's going to represent him in the community. And I don't blame, if anything, folks, as I've said, I applaud the governor. I find it appalling You can't have, I don't even need to use analogies. I hear other people trying to use analogies. I think one of the problems, though, with this story regarding the person that works for Governor McKee. So, I think one of the problems with that story is the way that certain members of the media are portraying the story. Because if you don't know the full part of the story, it would seem like, wow, the governor fired the guy simply because he was saying he wants a ceasefire. Like, what would be the harm in that? Except that's not what happened. So I saw, the Boston Globe was saying, did you hear the chants from the river to the sea? Oh, I don't know if I heard that. Excuse me. As many of you know, I covered that. We have the video up. Okay, it's the way they phrase it. This business, I object to the way the media is saying he just attended a pro-Palestine. Excuse me. It was anti-Israel. All right, Governor McKee is absolutely within his right. As a taxpayer, I don't want to pay the salary of some bum that says the United States is responsible for the genocide in Gaza. It is ludicrous, folks. They never mention what happened October 7th. They don't mention the fact that people were beheaded. They don't mention the rapes, the murders, all the brutalities that we've talked about. This business of the ceasefire, no. Why would you give a ceasefire to allow Hamas to rest, restock their weapons? No, there's no element of that. But if the media portrays it of, this is just a guy that was looking for some peace. No, excuse me, he wasn't. And it starts with the way they're framing that rally. Now, I have posted the video, and I know they're so upset about it. You know why I know they're so upset about it? Is because they won't acknowledge it. It's right there. Sanchez and all of those protesters chanting, hey, hey, ho, ho, Israel's got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the Jews have got to go. That's not peace. That's not peace. And as I have been saying consistently, when you chant from a river to the sea, it's all Palestine. What does that mean? It means we're going to eradicate all the Jews. You can't be a Jew in Gaza. You never hear those people mention that. He is endorsing the eradication of Jewish people. So I'm going to defend Governor McKee. The ACLU weighing in on this. They're weighing in on a media that is a tepid response to this story. If there were so many other groups, the media would have no problem saying that is someone that should not be working there, and how can he say that? And they allow that type of thing. Now, again, as I've said, I want to credit Channel 10. You know what else also irks me, folks? So we started talking about it. It was Kathy Gregg was the one that first flagged this. And then we did a posting on it on DePietro.com. And then Channel 10, I want to give Channel 10 credit. They did a story on it. So here's the part that no one will comment on. To the rest of the media, it's now a story. It was even in the New York Post. But let's just talk about the local media. And this is important. Listen to what I'm going to tell you. The local media is saying that it's only a story now because Governor McKee fired this Miguel Sanchez, who's a Providence city councilman, who was working in his it's a total BS patronage job. Who knows? Gets to go in, benefits, health care, 50 grand, doesn't even show up. Somebody calls, you have to return. I mean, it's like totally cushy. Talk about definition of a hack, cushy job. But here's the part that I want to touch on. To our local media, with the exception of Channel 10 and DePietro.com, in their mind, it's only a story now that McKee fired Miguel Sanchez. But in their mind, it wasn't a story. Here's the part I don't understand. How is it not a story that you have a sitting councilman who's marching with people that want to eradicate and commit genocide to the Jews. It's not pro-Palestine. They're anti-Jew. They're anti-Israel. So I find that really remarkable. So to the rest of the media, it's like, oh, he's just advocating, and he's saying the United States and Israel are committing genocide. That's just Miguel being Miguel, right? As he's marching along with people saying, we want all Jews out of Rhode Island. In their mind, that's not a story. That's the problem right there. Oh, did McKee fire him? Oh, well, now it's a story. And what, they want to turn him into a martyr? Now, I also, I don't know who pulled the trigger to hire this guy in the first place. I'll tell you one thing about Miguel Sanchez, him and the brother. The media love the story, him and the brother. He's a councilman, the brother's the rep, they're both socialists. The media, they love the story of the two of them. But one thing about that Miguel Sanchez is that guy, I believe the reason he got hired by McKee is he's a big ballot harvester. He knows how to harvest ballots. That recent CD1 race, Justin Katz and I have talked about it. I'm just seeing someone arrive, and the police are talking to him, so I'm just looking over my shoulder at that. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, maybe it's just someone that lives there. But hear me out. This is important. So keep in mind, last fall, right, Governor McKee won by 25,000 mail ballots. And one of the people that works for him is this Providence City Councilman, Miguel Sanchez. Now, just this past August, September, Anna Quezada, Justin Katz and I have talked about that. Anna Quezada finished third in, she came in third in mail ballots, even though she was way down as far as regular ballots. And he was running her mail ballot operation. So that's really significant that, because, connect the dots on that. Somebody who certainly is very effective in the business of ballot harvesting ends up also, okay, I'm live, okay? So someone who's in the business of ballot harvesting is then working, because that's one thing about that guy. He was the lead one. The only reason that Anna Quezada, I know it seems some people are going to be a little confused by this, but I think if you look at the connection, there's something there, that he had this basically patronage job with the governor, and then it also happens to turn out that he's very skilled with the ballot harvesting. So I think that's also very interesting. Now, folks, again, just coming back, you're watching our live coverage on the scene live stream. This is Cranston. What you're looking at right now, for those, it's just right now 12:31, and what you're looking at is we're in Cranston, where a 4-year-old was tragically shot in the head. The father is in custody. I believe the father is trying to claim that the gun was in a drawer and just happened to go off. Right now, you have the father, yeah, that's right, working press, Lynn Miller. The father is in custody at the Cranston police station, and what you're looking at are Cranston police that, as we speak, are waiting for a search warrant so they can go in on the second floor of the apartment. The first thing that needs to happen is they need to retrieve the weapon that's still inside, and then the inside of the apartment will, in essence, be a full crime scene. So now, the latest we heard is that the little 4-year-old, do you have to stand right over me? The 4-year-old is in critical condition at Hasbro, and where I have no idea. Well, they're going to have to wait for the police to announce on exactly, what his condition is, and depending on that, we're also going to know what the charges are going to be for something like that. So now, folks, again, right now at 12:32. By the way, it's a beautiful day for Halloween, and tonight we plan to be out covering everything that's going to be happening. Hopefully, all will. Thank you, Jr. Hopefully, folks, everyone will have a happy and safe Halloween, but it certainly isn't starting that way here in Cranston on Queen Street, where we see the Cranston police are waiting for to get a search warrant to go into that second floor apartment where this shooting took place. So now I also want to Queen Street, that's right in Arlington. Folks, you're listening and watching. This is our noon report. We do our simulcast, AM 1380, 99.9 FM, and then you can always listen online at the website, depetro.com. Now, I also want to mention, because if we didn't have the shooting, the McKee story would be big. What's also, folks, it should not be lost on people, is there are no Democrats coming forward and commending Governor McKee for this. No one. So as far as his normal allies, or like, what does it say with the Rhode Island Democrat Party right now that Governor McKee, I fully support this action. It was outrageous, but this is so broken right now with the Democrat Party that they feel he is described, this guy that McKee fired, Miguel Sanchez, Providence City Councilman, he is a Hamas supporter. Israel is under attack by Hamas. October 7th, Hamas attacked those people at the music festival. Hamas brutally, I hate even using the words massacred. We're actually even hearing more atrocities I don't even like to talk about, because you thought that maybe you would think that the Holocaust was the last time that we'd even hear of something like this. So, but that's not the case. So, but in a situation like that, right, that happens. What are we to make of someone that immediately says, "Oh, I want peace"? I mean, that I'm telling you, it's the equivalent of September 12th. And there were people like that. Like a Chafee was like that. There were people who on September 12th were saying, there should be no retribution. For those that are calling for a ceasefire, and I want you to hear this, because I don't think local media really plays this out. And they don't play it out, right? They don't play it out. They don't push him on it. They don't push him. They don't push the progressives. I think in some twisted way, a lot of members of the local media, they somehow want the admiration of these progressives. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, I certainly don't. I can't stand them. And I don't understand this infatuation that they somehow want, unless they it's kind of like they idolize them in a way, that they somehow like look up to them. I know that sounds nuts, but there's no other rational explanation of why you would be kowtowing to this crowd, right? The Sanchezes, Miguel Sanchez, the brother, Tierra Mack, the rest of this crew, this whole business of, oh, no, I'm just pro-Palestine. Well, if Israel's under attack by Hamas, and you're not with Israel, who do you think you're with then? It's pretty obvious then who you're with. But look at now the ACLU. Well, he should have. Excuse me, that's not freedom of speech. What did we hear about with Charlottesville and the Unite to the Right? Folks, with the Democrat Party, hear me out. And again, good afternoon, 12:37. You're watching the Noon Report and listening to the Noon Report. It's on the scene live stream, and we are behind me, Cranston, where Cranston police are waiting to execute a search warrant on this home where there's been a tragedy. A 4-year-old boy critically shot in the head, sent emergency surgery, I understand, at Hasbro. 4 years old. The father's in custody, and you're looking at the Cranston police are standing by, where they're waiting to get a search warrant to go in to this second floor apartment where it happened. But folks, all we keep hearing about from Sabina Matos and some of these other Democrats is the danger of the, quote, MAGA Republicans and the danger of January 6th and white supremacists. How many articles have been written? White supremacists are the biggest threat, right? They were objecting to if students were triggered when they saw a Trump bumper sticker or sign on a college campus. So you have that. Now, this same crowd that have preaching to you and me and all of us that, there's Michael Gary, that somehow white supremacists are the biggest threat, and J6th, and the, quote, MAGA Republicans, and blah, blah, blah. This same crowd is silent as students at Cornell were locked and trapped in a cafeteria by people that were outside trying to get at them. At Cornell University, upstate New York, Ithaca. At Cornell, the FBI had to get involved because there were postings encouraging people to follow Cornell Jewish students back to their housing and basically, commit acts of violence on them, slit their throats. I hate to even say that. Columbia University, you have students at Columbia saying that they fear to leave their dorm rooms. The same people that have been preaching about January 6th and white supremacists and the MAGA Republicans and blah, 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 they turned a blind eye to what's going on at these Ivy League schools. Now, I also want to credit John Brean, Rep. Brean. He immediately came out. He has been on the money on this. By the way, he if you haven't seen it, he was excellent in the Channel 12 piece. Two people that I think have been very good. One is Rep. Brean, who I have a lot of respect for, and the other is Brian Newberry. Brian Newberry went on Channel 10 and said, listen, this guy attended a pro-Hamas rally, and he works for Governor McKee, and McKee finally pulled the plug on him. Like, what's so difficult to understand here? So, folks, and I want to reiterate, this isn't, well, he's entitled to his own private freedom of speech. You work for Governor McKee. We pay your blanking salary, and you're posting all Jews out of Rhode Island. Hamas should commit genocide and kill all the Jews in Israel. And somehow you think that falls under the definition of freedom of speech. I don't think it does. I think Governor McKee absolutely did the right thing and should have done exactly what he did. And I don't even like the fact, yes, that we even had to pay his salary. Now, right now, it's 12:41. Folks, you're watching our continuing coverage. For those that are just tuning in, we've had this happened just about 2 hours ago, where on the second floor of the house, right on your screen for those that are watching on Facebook, a gun went off on the second floor apartment. The police are still trying to investigate how that happened. A 4-year-old was struck in the head and was rushed to Hasbro Children's Hospital. The boy's father is in custody at the Cranston Police Station. For those that are just tuning in, we're in the Arlington section of Cranston. We're right off of Cranston Street, Dyer, and Puritan. It's Queen Street. And what you're looking at are Cranston police that are waiting for the search warrant. They still have not yet gone into the apartment to be able to search the apartment and get the weapon and fully do a full crime scene. So they're waiting to go in. And right now at 12:42, folks, I want to remind you, for those that are both listening and watching, about our friends at Propane Plus. You can depend on Propane Plus for all your propane needs this winter, serving Rhode Island and Massachusetts. Propane Plus. They have a very user-friendly website, always online at propaneplus.com. But folks, again, good afternoon, everybody. This is the Noon Report. It is Juan. This is On the Scene live stream. We do a simulcast. Now, we did this Friday in Maine, where I am live on the radio, and then we're also live at a scene. Friday, we were in Maine for the search for the fugitive. Today, on this Halloween, we are in the Arlington section of Cranston, where you've had a 4-year-old that was shot in the second-floor apartment. The bullet came from a gun owned by the father. Now, we are waiting for... We spoke with Cranston Police Chief when we first arrived. We spoke with Mayor Hopkins, who was on scene. What we're standing by for is they're still going to get a search warrant. They have not yet got the weapon. They haven't gotten the weapon yet. So there was someone who arrived here earlier who seemed to know the family. And that person said the father, from what I understand, claimed he was rummaging through his drawer and, the gun went off. Now, we don't believe, I don't know if the gun is registered. I don't think it is. It's my understanding this person has had run-ins with the law. That's number one, unregistered weapon. Number two, anyone that knows anything about firearms, storing firearms, you're certainly not supposed to have it loaded. You're certainly not supposed to have it loaded when you have children in the house. And number three, by all accounts, what we're hearing is this father is like a totally irresponsible goon who just sits around on the couch all day, and somehow this poor 4-year-old has been rushed to the hospital. So that is the story of the day, and what you're looking at is, as I was mentioning, Cranston Police there's a process. They can't just barge in. They have to, go to a judge. They have to get them to sign off on a search warrant. They're not going to have a hard time getting a search warrant here. But so this portion of the street is blocked off, and the police will then execute the search warrant inside on the second floor, and that's when you'll see the Cranston Police crime scene come into play, and then they'll have to process the crime scene. So right now it's 12:45. Now I just want to check while we're live here. Providence City Councilman, okay, we have that. Forced out of his day job. I am telling you, let me see. It's not retribution. The media loves these two brothers. I've already explained why. It's ridiculous. They shouldn't. This is not retribution. This is not freedom of speech. This is, if you're an elected official, you have the right to select who's going to be working for you and who's going to be representing your views with the public. And I mean, to me, this is a total no-brainer. I applaud Governor McKee I applaud him for terminating this guy. And what I don't understand, I also want to mention, folks, last Thursday, it was Kathy Gregg who mentioned, she was the first one that I saw that mentioned that this was a problem. And then we did a posting on it on DePietro.com. I want to mention, and I know this is going to sound like a criticism, and it's not meant that way, but folks, in the CD1 race last Thursday, I was, on the radio and on the scene live stream, and I was imploring CD1 candidate Gary Leonard to call for this guy to get fired, and they didn't do anything. Why should he have done that? Number one, because then McKee ended up firing him. So then it would have seen, number two, it would have drawn attention to it. Number three, it would have dragged, what does Gabe Amell think about this, right? I don't understand. The election is 1 week from today. I haven't seen Gary Leonard. We had him on the show. Seems like a nice guy. I think he'd be good in Congress. I wish he was going to be. I think the state would be better if you had some member of the Republican Party down there in Washington, but you have to engage. You have to engage. You gotta find a way to get the media interested in your race. And on top, that would have been, Gabe Amo would have been forced to comment, do you think this guy should be fired? So now it's all after the fact. Like now, Republican Gary Leonard, if he comes out now and says, oh yeah, I think it's a good thing he was, I mean, on Thursday, Gary Leonard had a really good, the Leonard campaign had an opportunity to say, I believe the governor should fire this guy, and make it an issue within the campaign. Because the people that would say that Governor McKee should not fire him, they're not voting Republican anyway. It's all the far left, right? So he did possibly, he would have got free press out of it. It would have forced Democrat Gabe Amo to at least comment on the story. And instead, Gabe Amo has gotten a free pass. Now, I recognize some people may say that the media is kind of giving Gabe Amo a free pass. But folks, you have to show the media that it's a race. You have to engage them in the race. The Leonard campaign, the election is 1 week from today. Now, unless this is going to be the biggest upset of all time, I think it's just a matter, not that he's going to get beaten, but how badly he's going to get beaten. If you're the Leonard campaign, if you say, yippee, we got 40% of the vote and only lost 60-40, well, then, I don't know what to tell you. But there's a lot left on the table. I just wish some people that had a little more political experience. Now, again, we don't know if consultants or other people are advising him to do certain things, and he's just not doing it, right? I mean, I gave him an easy one. That's a good one. Like last Thursday, call for this guy to get fired. And then, now you're part of the story. And now you're on the right side of the story. I don't know. The biggest stories of this CD1 race, number one, it started with the Matos signature scandal. That obviously dominated the Matos signature scandal. And then it became, a little bit about Aaron Ruggenberg and some of his views. And then he had Bernie Sanders come in, and he was just too extreme. Another part of that became Aaron Ruggenberg saying, shut down the government. And then all those people wouldn't have gotten paid. So that kind of, but the biggest story of CD1 so far has been the Matos signature scandal. And I want to remind people, Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos, she endorsed Gabe Amo. If you're the Leonard campaign, the other thing was that Jamestown businessman, Don Carlson, that was forced to drop out of the race when Channel 12, uncovered some of the things that happened with him when he was a adjunct professor at his alma mater. Those were the two big stories that kind of came out of the CD1 primary. But when Don Carlson endorsed Sandra Cano, the Matos people said, wow, I can't believe you're taking an endorsement from a guy like that. And then the Sandra Cano people had to kind of backtrack on it a little bit. So I think there's something there. I mean, there could have been something there. We're never going to know. There's a week left. I know they're going to debate, but there's so many votes that have already been cast. Maybe this is just a learning lesson. Maybe the CD1, the Leonard campaign, maybe they're just saying we're going to run again next year. So we just want to stay positive through the whole thing. I mean, I don't understand. But folks, good afternoon right now. On this Tuesday, you're watching live coverage. We are in Cranston. What you're looking at on the scene live stream is this a little 4-year-old shot in the head. Now, I don't think we're going to have an update on this within when our time is up at 1 o'clock. I don't think so. We don't know I think something to watch is how the charges, and there will be charges against the father, how they're going to fluctuate. But I am glad that, just to recap, at 12:52 on this Halloween, and we will be live later, I am glad that Governor McKee took action and pulled the trigger, so to speak, on he terminated that councilman. Governor McKee did the right thing. I think it is it's frightening what's happening right now with the Democrat Party, and the fact that someone can say those things and then nothing is done. Now, folks, also, now coming up next hour on the radio show, you're going to hear Donna Perry, who'll talk about this fallout that we've seen at the colleges. I also want to look at some headlines right now. FBI warns terror threat high in USA. Now, folks, tonight, people need to be on guard. Halloween, everyone in masks, a lot of crime could take off, and it's certainly an opportunity for that. Another story that I'm not going to get into right now, because our big story today is in fact this situation in Cranston, but the Boston Globe is really digging into what happened in Maine, and the stories are just absolutely there were so many red flags for the guy that before that nutcase did the shooting. Now that hasn't even been a week. The 1 week anniversary is going to be this Wednesday night. But Boston Globe, Maine gunman's ex-wife, he has an 18-year-old son, warned authorities he was hearing voices, had an arsenal of guns. That's number one. Number two, do you know there were people at his military base, because this guy was a reservist, saying, this guy's going to go off. He's going to go off, and he's going to commit a mass shooting here. And they still didn't do anything. As many of you know, we were up there on Friday into Saturday, and I would just say the lackadaisical approach is frightening. For the people that are calling for, more laws and all this other stuff, none of that stuff matters if you're not going to... Look at this person trying to go through with the police tape. None of that stuff matters if you're not going to enforce the laws, unless that's a Cranston police officer. Maybe he's just going through. I don't know who that is. When I see yellow tape, most people stop. Not everybody does. So, he lives right over there. Okay. Oh, okay, detective. That would make sense. So, but folks, again, just to reiterate, on this Halloween, you're watching On the Scene live stream and listening. This is the Noon Report. There's been just a horrible story. Boy, Cranston. Now again, technically the shooting was that double homicide Friday night. It was in Providence, but only by 4 feet. Only by 4 feet. So you have that. I know some people are going to use this to... thank you for the stars, by the way, folks, on this Halloween. We have 1 day left tonight, to hit our October goal, for those that are watching. But we will be on later, obviously, covering some of the... I think it could end up being a busy night. Halloween usually is. It is terrible what has taken place here in Cranston. And there's so much of this. I know people will be calling for stricter gun laws and so forth, but a big part of this is if you're not enforcing the laws that are on the books, it doesn't, whether it's Maine or wherever, this we don't know about. This guy, this is someone, by all accounts, it sounds as though he did not have a okay, I think this is the Cranston, for those that are watching. Oh, no, it's Channel 10. I thought it was the Cranston Police Lab. Right now at 12:57, folks, good afternoon. You're watching On the Scene live stream. And what you're looking at, for those that are watching, is Cranston police are on scene, and they're waiting for a search warrant to get into this house, the second floor, where a shooting took place earlier, just about 2.5 hours ago, where a 4-year-old child was rushed to Hasbro Children's Hospital undergoing emergency surgery for a gunshot wound to the head. So we're going to stay on the story. Now, for the radio portion, next hour, you're going to hear Donna Perry is going to join me. We're also going to talk about all the news of the day. For those that are watching, we're going to stay with this a little bit and wait for them to execute the search warrant. We're definitely going to be back at some point later tonight and have full coverage on this Halloween, when who knows what's going to happen. But Halloween is starting off this way. I wanted to mention, technically it was in Providence where the shooting took place, but it was 4 feet over the line in Cranston. So it's another example. I don't know, we heard some things about the father involved here. Right now he's in Cranston police custody. He's being detained at the Cranston police station. Cranston police are going to execute the search warrant. They have to get the search warrant. And then he is someone, to put it mildly, known to police. And by all accounts, it doesn't sound like he had a legally obtained firearm. Not that that would matter, but I think he's going to be in extra trouble. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to be breaking for the 1 o'clock news, and then we have a full another hour to go. You can listen AM 1380, 99.9 FM, and then you can always watch, or listen, I should say, online at the website, DePietro.com. So again, the big story of the day is this 4-year-old shot in the head in Cranston. Folks, we have another hour to go. Right now, we're going to break for the 1 o'clock news and be back on the other side for the John DePietro Show. All right, folks, again, you're watching On the Scene live stream. You're watching live coverage. Our radio portion is over. Good afternoon. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody that is tuning in. It's actually a little chilly here in the shade. I'm going to move. The sun feels nice. I'm not sure how far out they are in obtaining this search warrant. I don't know. Absolutely. We're going to stay on a little bit, folks. I really want to find out what time they're going to be back with the search warrant. All right, folks, here's what we're going to do. It's just 1 o'clock. We're going to sign off right now. We'll be back later. Thank you, yes, all our moderators and so forth. Folks, we're going to be back later, and we'll continue to follow this story in Cranston.